back to my channel. This is Steph with Stitching with Steph. If you're new here, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you like doing stitch with me's or just having company, go ahead and click that notification bell. Anytime I upload a new video, you'll get a little ping to your app or your alerts within YouTube. And go ahead and comment where you're from. I like to know what city or state or even country my viewers are from so we can connect a little bit more. To my subscribers that do like doing stitch alongs, thank you for coming back and keeping me company. So today what we're doing is our week 3 March St. Patrick's Day pattern. So stay tuned and we'll go ahead and get this canvas ready for stitching. All right, as you see here, I already got my canvas prepped and my needle prepped here. I'm going to be doing the words March. I did last week finish up, sorry about that, I didn't mean to hit my camera, it's a little difficult on my little stand here. Last week I did finish up color number 6, which is within the shamrocks, and then also part of my border. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what I finished. I'm just knocking out one color at a time every week, just so that way I can try to get some of this done. I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to finish it this season. So what we're going to work on is this here. I will be taking breaks to drink some fluids here and there. I'm getting over a cold. Of course, I come back from spring break from school and I end up catching a cold. Did anybody else go on spring break yet? Or have you done anything over your spring break with your children, if you have any? My kids are on spring break this week, so unfortunately, I didn't get to do anything on my spring break because my kids were still in school. But this week, we're celebrating birthdays and we're going to be going out and about on our days off this week, so that's going to be fun. I'm sure my kids will enjoy that. Sorry, again, hit that camera. I'm using my new camera. In my previous videos, my audio was a little bit off because my camera was defaulting to the audio, but I fixed it and it's back to my noise canceling mic. So we should have better quality this time. So you'll notice that in my weekly reviews from 317, I think I loaded it, 317. So my audio is better now. I did do an audio check. I didn't think it was going to override it when I installed my new camera. But here we are, it did. But I prefer the audio from my mic because it does noise canceling and background noise canceling, which is amazing when I have dogs barking or kids hooting and hollering playing, because let's be honest, that's what kids do. Or neighbors driving down the street with what sounds like their muffler is off. But other than that, nothing new going on in my corner. I'm getting ready to go back to school this week. I have to prep for a paper that is due. I have 2 tests that I have to do. And then I have to prep for my work week, which again, I work full time at the hospital in an ICU. It's been pretty interesting. We have a lot of our nurses have been quitting or going PRN. And those of you that don't know what PRN is, that means as needed. They work like anywhere between 1 and 4 or 5 shifts, depending on what they want to pick up. But they just come in and fill in or work only 1 shift a week. That becomes typical in nursing. After you've been doing it for a while, you do PRN. Just because you tend to get a little tired or you're working multiple places of employment. A lot of people work multiple jobs or different employers. That's the way of the land for healthcare workers. So it's been kind of busy on our unit. Typically in an ICU, you shouldn't have no more than 2 patients at a time. However, for the past couple of weeks, a lot of my nurses have been tripled, which means I uh, try to be all hands in to help as where I can, the best that I can. We've been, even our unit manager, and bless her heart, my unit manager has so much respect for me because in all the years that I have worked in healthcare, I have not had a unit manager actually come in and work a shift with us. They tend to run us dry. But my unit manager knew we were running short and she worked an overnight shift with us just to alleviate some of that workload off of the staff. And again, I told her, you have earned so much respect from me as an employee. And that's exactly what makes me want to finish my nursing education and work for her. She's an amazing manager, and I love working in the ICU and using my brain. That is way different than other departments that I have floated to. So I just feel like in the ICU you have to think fast and you really get to test your knowledge and skill set. So that's why I really enjoy working in the ICU. As for personal stuff, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got sick over spring break, so I was down for the count for like 4 days. I had to take, luckily it was just an extra shift at a different facility, and I was PRN over there. So luckily I just was able to call my manager and let her know that I wasn't able to come in, and she was okay with it. That's the first time I've ever called in since being over there PRN. I was just trying to pick up some extra shifts on spring break, and well, that kind of backfired on me. So, other than that, nothing new on the forefront of work. So, yeah, nothing too shabby. How do you guys like this new video quality? I'm pretty impressed with this camera. I did a lot of research because I didn't want to make a large investment with a DSLR because to me, I just feel like you don't need something of that caliber to make a good quality video, I feel. Bear with me, I need to grab some water real fast. All right, sorry about that, guys. Like I said, I'm recovering from a cold and I feel like my throat is drying out way more than it should. But back to the conversation. I wanted to have a good quality camera that was not a DSLR. However, finding the right type of camera to do what I needed it to do to give me the quality that I wanted proven to be taskful. If you look at some of my older videos, they were very grainy. And before I got my mic, the audio wasn't very good. I feel like this one fits all of the markers for me. The clarity is amazing. It auto adjusts for me, but I turn that off when I'm doing close-ups like this because as I learned in my very first review video, if you watch it from 317, it was glitching and it looked like it couldn't figure out where it wanted to focus. So I turned off the auto adjust. I fixed the audio so it's using my noise canceling mic, which as you could probably tell, the audio is way better on this one. So overall, I feel like I'm getting the hang of this YouTubing thing, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos. And if there's any suggestions that you guys would like to give, I am pretty laid back and open to suggestions of what kind of things you guys are looking for as viewers. I figured stitching videos, we're a particular niche, right? So we're probably watching this as we're stitching our own projects. And you're probably hearing me talk about what's going on in my life. Just to have that background noise, not necessarily because you're watching me stitch, but I do know that sometimes we like looking at those. And again, I felt like my earlier Stitch with Me's The camera quality just wasn't there. And I'm overall pretty happy with what I have now. And I don't see myself changing my camera anytime soon, as this is a really good camera, and you'd be surprised I spent under $100 for this bad boy. So I'll take a win where I can, but also, like I said, it took a lot of research from me. A lot, a lot. So, yeah, here we are with learning how to film and do the things, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content and the conversation. So now that spring is arriving here in Colorado, it is what we call the windy season. Spring will be here in about 2 days, according to our lovely little calendar. However, the wind is already picking up. And although the weather is nicer, I'll be honest with you, that wind is killer. We can't really use our outdoor space because I live out east. I live east of Denver. We're closer to the plains, so we get a lot of wind, unfortunately. But I wouldn't change it for anything. I love where I live. The only other place that I would live would be the Pacific Northwest, either Oregon or Washington. Next to home, Colorado is my home. I was born and raised here. Um, and my mother's side of the family, they are native to Colorado before it was even Colorado. And throughout the New Mexico region, there's a little fun fact for you. The Pacific Northwest definitely has my heart, to be honest with you. It's just the weather. I love the weather. I love the outdoor space. Oh, looks like I did it, my friends. I can never ever not once not get a knot. That's a story of my life. I feel like I'm the type of stitcher that will tend to get knots very frequently, and I feel like it has created a very patient stitcher out of me, just because I don't understand what happens half the time. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. There we go. Maybe? I don't know. And of course, this is one of the reasons why people hate stitching with black. It is so difficult to see like when or where uh the knot is, because sometimes you can typically just pull it, and you are watching me struggle in real time, guys. In real time. Here we go. It's going to take me several minutes. I'm going to pause, friends, and I'm going to get this unknotted. I'll be right back. All right, and just like that, you lose patience, you create more of a knot, and then you just cut it. So, again, the nice thing about our stitching is that no judgment, right? And if somebody's judging you for the way that you're stitching, just ignore them. I just feel like it's not necessary to do these kind of things. I don't know. I just feel like some people unnecessarily judge, I guess you would say. Give me a second here. Okay. I don't like how it's auto brightness, so give me a second. I'm going to pause you real fast so I can try to adjust it, because the sun's coming down, so it's trying to adjust its brightness. I'm going to adjust this. There we go. That seems better. Anyways, what we were talking about. Oh, yeah, about being from Colorado and it being super windy. Springtime, I don't know what it is. We get those wicked winds out in the plains, and it's nice and pretty outside, but there's certain areas that you can't go do things because the wind will take you away. Also, we get tornadoes. So, not in early spring, more like late spring, early summer. Where I live, you'll hear the tornado sirens. Mostly, what month are we coming up into? April. Mostly in May and June, we'll hear them. So, if you ever hear them going off, I'll let you know what it is in our videos. But other than that, it's not too bad. I like living here. Where are you guys from? You want to tell me a little bit about where you're from? What it's like weather-wise, diversity-wise? Colorado's pretty diverse. I feel like we have a relatively decent food scene here. Again, the Northwest is where my heart is. And I'll be honest with you, when I say diverse food, I mean diverse food. Here in Colorado, I kind of feel like we could do better. We're slowly getting better. But we have really good spots for Korean food, Chinese food, Vietnamese food. We don't really have a lot of places for like Hawaiian type food or Polynesian style food. Let's see. What else do we not have? We have a heavy Filipino population here, but I wouldn't say that you find a lot of Filipino restaurants. They're very sparse. Um, so yeah, I don't know why we don't. I would think that we have more. We have a lot of Mexican food though. Just naturally because of where we're located. Colorado, we have our own version of green chili. So if that's something you ever want to like Google or try, just look up Colorado green chili recipes. That is specific to our demographic in our state. You won't find it really anywhere else. Our green chili is different than other states or typical like salsa verde chili. So yeah, other than that, it's not too much going on here. Let's see. I'm doing not too bad on this here canvas. Those stitches are looking pretty good. Yeah. Next video, I'm going to have to learn. I don't like the auto brightness, so I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm pretty sure I'll just probably go into my app and turn it off, because I do have lights and the sun's peeking around on the other side of my house. My house does face, the front of my house face west, the back of my house face east, which is good for airflow. Not so much for natural lighting when you're filming, because it plays tricks on you. In the morning, it's to the back of my filming setup, and in the afternoon, as you can see, that's why we're having the in and out. There we go. All right. Not too bad. Is there any other type of patterns anybody would like to see? I do have a couple in rotation right now, but this one I'm stitching on consistently just because it's a March calendar. Okay, normally I don't like doing a travel stitch, but as you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before I get to the next one. Actually, I'm not going to do a travel stitch. You're going to see me finish this off. If I typically have more than 2 stitches, I will not travel. So let's go ahead and finish this off and we'll move on to the next couple of rows. All right, let's start. I'll finish this up and I'll probably finish this, maybe finish this stitch with me up. Depends on how bored you guys get of me. I do like a lot of the features on this camera. If you want to plug and go, definitely worth it. It seems to have a lot of auto features, which is nice. However, when you're stitching a dark color against a light background, as you can see, it comes and goes, which this is my first stitch with me with this, so hopefully in my next video, I'm going to tinker with the settings within the program, because you can download a program for it and have it like fixed, if that makes sense, which I prefer. I don't like auto brightness. I already fixed the auto adjusting, but I do not like how it's, as you can see, because, you know, my hand goes in and out of frame. I don't like how it keeps trying to correct for my hand being in the frame, which, again, you learn as you go, I feel. What kind of projects are you guys stitching on? I don't know if I asked that or not already. Anything green? Anything St. Patrick's Day? Anything of the sort? I feel like we all try to do like a theme for ourselves, not even just for like our channels. But I get a little squirrely. And you'll probably hear it in every single video. Definitely have ADHD. So if a pattern does not keep my interest, you will be able to tell. I skipped one here. Let me fix this. So you can clearly tell that I like this pattern because I'm keeping with it. I just want to see the finished product and see all the colors together. But like I said, I'm being patient and I know that it probably won't be this season. It'll probably be next March, hopefully, because I'm only stitching on this in the month of March. And it may be the year after that. That's the joy of stitching. There's no rush to get your patterns done. You can just take your time, and if you're bored with it, move on to another one and back burner it and then come back to it. That's one thing I liked over diamond arting. Diamond arting, you can't do that because of all the gems and the little diamond beads. And I feel like you just got to finish the whip that is out before you can move on to the next one. Of course, unless they're a smaller one, but I just feel like, sorry, there's multiple holes here and I do not like, there it is. Actually bring that back. I don't like that there's so much to like do with diamond arting. Like there's so much prepping and kitting. Like with stitching, you could just grab your little whip bag and go. So that's nice. I stitch a lot in the car or if we're doing errands. Sometimes in between my classes, I'll have a project in my backpack for school too. So if I'm done with my homework or studying, I'll just pull it out because I have about a 2-hour break between my classes. I'm the type of student I like to do my homework and stuff about a week ahead because you never know when you're going to get sick or anything of that sort. Do you take any whips with you to work? I feel like those of us that love stitching will take them to work and school or on the road with them. Because one of the nice things about this craft is you can craft anywhere. Even as bad as it sounds, I will even do poolside for my kids. My kids are older and they know how to swim, so I don't necessarily have to worry about it getting wet. I sit far enough from the pool's edge where I know I'm not going to get splashed and my canvas won't be ruined. All right, friends, hold on while I get a drink of water. I'm getting a little raspy here. It's just going to be a minute. I'll finish this row up. All right, I just wanted to move this over to the other side. So bear with me. I'm going to grab some water. My throat is a little bothersome. And we will start back up over here. I'm trying to get this M done. All right, thanks for that little break to grab some water. As you can see, I'm running out of thread here, so I'm probably going to have to rethread the rest of that other half of the one that I snipped off. And again, you stitch how you want to stitch. There's like no set rules. As long as your stitches are secure and the front is uniformed, have at it. Pay attention to your symbols. I say go for it. I'm kind of surprised how quickly this is going. Normally, I don't stitch front to back like this, but I found it to be easier when filming, which I'm sure a lot of us that do stitch with me have come to realize. Okay, I'm going to finish this up on the back and rethread my needle just because I don't want to jump from here and then jump all the way up here. So this row, this column, I guess you would say, because rows, columns, right? And this column starts all the way up there and it like ends halfway in the middle. So let's go ahead and just finish. Let's close this row up, these columns. Let's thread our needle. In case you don't know how to use it, it's pretty simple. I always use the smaller side. I don't really use the big side. Oh, there you go. And then how I'm going to start, looks like it goes this way. And if you look, how I started it was under, and I pull the tail pretty much all the way flush, and I make sure to go right in the middle of both the upper and the lower. This, my friend, is my favorite. Look at how nice and tight that is. As soon as you do that, that thread is locked in. That's why I like starting with the pin stitch. It locks your thread in and you don't have to worry about it slipping. However, you make a mistake it's not so easy to undo. That's when that seam stitcher comes in, that seam ripper, not stitcher, seam ripper comes in handy. Because you're gonna have to undo. So if you like to use pin stitches, I would advise cautiously. Just pay attention to where you're starting and where you're going and how neatly your threads lay. Because like I said, one day last week, I was stitching on a project on my lunch and I started getting a migraine and I was not paying attention. And the symbol was kind of hard to stitch on with the color that I was stitching on, and I made a boo-boo. So I literally had to undo like probably 50 or so stitches because that's how long apparently it took me to realize that I was messing up. And I had to use that seam ripper to undo them all. So there's that. Again, it doesn't matter if you've been doing this for 50 years, you're going to make mistakes. Do you make them as often as the rest of us? Probably not. You've probably found some methods that work for you and methods that don't work for you. Once you get good enough at looking for the back of your, like the hole in the back, you get a little bit faster as time goes. Again, I've been doing this for several years and I still have to like hunt for my hole on the back side. Mostly when I'm doing it one-handed. If you have a stand and you're stitching like one up top and one on bottom, it's pretty easy because you can just keep your hands in place. But when you're doing it one-handed, as you can see, you can easily miss a hole, as you saw earlier. Or you hear me searching on the back with my needle. There we go. It looks like we don't have very much thread left, so we should be able to finish this up. And then we'll call this week's Stitch With Me done. Hopefully throughout the week, I'll be able to finish the rest of the word up for March. We can move on to something funner within the pattern. Maybe we'll actually stitch, let me see. Maybe we'll stitch around this clover because it looks like it's a decent amount for our fourth, I think fourth or fifth, let me see. I have 5 weeks, I think. 3. No, I only have 1 more week for this month for a Stitch With Me. So hopefully we'll be able to knock out a decent amount and we'll continue next March. I'll put this away into my whips and call it a day. Maybe you can grab the set yourself and you can join me maybe in April. Let's see, how long will they take? About 4 weeks to get here. So maybe if you grab these now, we can start in June together. We can kind of work on these together if you want. I think they're relatively easy. They just have, again, it's that full coverage, so it's just a lot of stitching, but it's nothing that you can't knock out. And if you want to stitch with me and do the same thing, go right on ahead and head on over to AliExpress. That's where I found some of the same patterns. I just did I think I just Ali Googled, that's what I called it. I just went to the little search bar and put, I think, calendar cross stitch kit. And I think it pulled up if I remember correctly. I can't remember. They're not that expensive. They're like $5 or $6 if I remember correctly. I know I was looking for next week's video to find stock images because I just feel like the images on these are not, on the paper patterns aren't very good. Oh, looks like I'm gonna be running pretty close. Do you think I can get a couple more stitches out of this? It'd be my luck, probably not. That little bit I snipped off probably would have made it, but we'll see. We'll see if I'll be able to. It might be hard for me to finish this off. Yep, it's probably going to be a little hard. So when I do like this, I'll try to finish the stitch. And then, because I don't even have a half a stitch there. So let's see what we have here. You are watching craftiness at its finest. Okay, there's that. Because I don't want to accidentally pull it. See, there we go. I think I may be able to finish this off. But with that being said, I think we can finish up this stitch with me. That concludes this week's Stitch with Me for the St. Patrick's Day March Canvas Week 3. If you liked what you saw here, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click the bell notification so you can get alerts anytime I upload new videos, and leave a comment if you feel the need to or you would like to. I encourage interactions. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for coming along with this stitch with me. I appreciate you coming on over and hanging out with me and doing some stitching, and we knock out a little bit of our projects a little bit at a time. If you want to follow me on other social media platforms, I do have an Instagram. It is stitching_with_Steph. I do have a TikTok as well. At the end of this video, there is a QR code. If you're watching on a tablet or a computer screen, go ahead and just get that camera open on your phone, scan that QR, and it'll link you straight over. My handler name over there is Stitching with Steph as well. No underscores, I believe. I'll have to double check. Give me 1 second. That's where my brain is at today. Don't mind me. It is same thing, stitching_with_Steph. Wow, that's where I'm at today, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for that. If neither of those work for you, go straight into my YouTube profile. I have links to both, and you'll see the little Instagram logo and the TikTok logo. Thank you for coming on by today and stitching with me. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day, guys. Bye.